Well, world record cast of the 7 Godsends, it's something else right now, right? It's 8:25.
Yeah, it's extremely fast now. The run barely looks like it did even a week ago.
Yeah. So what was it originally we found? We didn't even know about it. There was one on Facebook that the devs had retweeted. The devs have been in the chat for the race last time, and they've been in the Discord too, I think. But it was like 25 minutes.
Yeah, 24, 25.
It was also nowhere near. It wasn't using any of this stuff. Like it wasn't anything. It was just. So we're gonna watch that one, and Fiona had one that was just like what 8:25.5 or something.
Yeah, it's like 0.2 seconds off a world record, so the competition's very close. They're both vying for sub 8:20. I think they both had really good runs that have been lost to various things. At the top level of play, this speedrun gets a little bit silly.
We're gonna go ahead and watch Moonberry's version of it because that's, as far as we know, the best one, right? So.
Yep. Yep. Just confirmed it. That Moonberry's is the fastest, with Fiona just behind. So, yeah, sub 8:20 is definitely going to happen.
All right. I'm gonna grab audio from this, and this is a widescreen game, so I'm going to do my thing here and try and get it on screen. But yeah, let's do this. I'll speed it up this way. I'm gonna restart it too while I'm at it.
Okay.
Layout be damned. We're going this way. Okay. This will be a short one too because it's very fast. So you'll know these tricks better than me, but I have a good idea what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of this is just optimizing movement, optimizing setups. There's a few more space jumps that I hadn't seen previously that I saw in this world record. So it looks like the execution's just getting better and better.
I heard that the Nintendo Switch version doesn't have one of the space jumps, among other things, so apparently it is not a good speedrun version, though I'm sure it's a very stable version.
I don't know all the differences, but they said, I remember seeing someone say that the Stage 6 super jump's not possible, so you'll definitely take a time loss if you play it on Switch, but...
So this is what we were talking about when we were watching the race last week. A lot of our commentary is that this is very similar to that run, as far as I know. It's you use is it the sword and wind? Is that the combo here?
No, it's hammer and wind.
So they need the hammer to get the invincibility. Invisibility.
Yeah.
Invincibility.
Yeah, it's called invisibility, but it works as invincibility. It's that, and the tornado attack that it does is really good. One thing that can happen, I'm not sure exactly what the cause of it is, but the tornado ability is very good, but you can only have a certain number of them on screen. And sometimes the tornado projectile will glitch out and will just get stuck and not despawn, which is usually a run-ender for these players, so...
Only Glumbaron have the Switch version of the people who are racing it seriously? Okay, what's this? Fog time. What? Space jump?
A new location for the space jump, yeah.
Well, that's the mini boss you have to beat. His name is Anti-Rad, I think.
Yeah, now he's anti-alive.
Well, that tower is just... I couldn't stress enough how annoying that tower was going to be. Good thing we don't have to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because there's a lot of interesting movement you could do with the green guy's grapple, but ultimately I'm in favor of cool tricks that allow you to just skip stuff, so...
Yeah, I can't complain about the space jump. That's huge. It sounds like the dev knew about it too, from what he was saying in the chat. I don't know what those are in there for. They also said they weren't going to fix it, so that's good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a programming oversight. I mean, just what we know about the way that the game calculates that stuff. It's pretty obvious that it's an oversight, but I think that the devs are pretty sensitive to not ruining the speedrun. Thank goodness.
Yeah. You don't want them to patch stuff like that. That doesn't hurt anything in the game, really.
Exactly.
I love that skip through the wall, though, that just ends that stage. And now we're just in space for a while here.
This is probably the stage I always hated the most. So There's really no cost to setting that up anyway, since you have to wait for the boss to die. It just so happens there's a spot there to set up a space jump, and as soon as the screen unlocks, you can just go and skip most of that level.
This is gonna be over before it begins. We're already more than halfway done. There's this, so most of the bosses in this game want to talk to you, and I think there's a way to get through that dialogue faster too, because that's faster than I did it when I was playing this.
Yeah, you can hold down the buttons to advance the dialogue faster, but I think they figured out also that if you wait for just a moment after the dialogue starts and just hold down the jump button, it dismisses it immediately.
Yeah, it's also in Japanese, I noticed. So is that a time saver as well?
I think it's just goofy. I don't know of any. I mean, now that you can skip dialogue, I don't know of any situation in which that would actually make it faster.
This one looks like they're not doing anything, and then they're just up in the sky.
Yep.
It gets me every time.
Another instance of that goofy space jump.
So we had talked about it during the race also, but there is a version that was put together for speedrunning this game that just lets you get away with all kinds of stuff, lets you pick your weapons right, and some other things like that. Just get through
on the Discord. On the Discord, if you're playing the PC version, Kalimag actually made a modification to one of the DLLs. You just have to swap it in if you want to practice, and it gives you a little menu you can open up that allows you to change what level you want to load, where you want to load to, what weapon you have, what armor you have, so you can practice all sorts of stuff. It even has a little indicator on the HUD for you to know whether or not you're standing on a super jump spot, so you can figure out where they are really easily, and then use that in runs.
Yeah, that's a dream. Man, look at that clock on the right. That is a lot of time saved on this run in particular. That Ice Golem stage got smoked. That's the big jump. It really didn't take long at all to get this run under 10 minutes. People started doing that within 1 week, within a couple days, really. I was looking at the world record that was like 25 minutes. It was what I figured the game would turn into if we didn't find anything major, which we did. It was just, he died a couple times. He ran through the game pretty well. That was the run. I knew it would be. I know it would be crushed, but I didn't expect 8 minutes to be happening so easily.
Yeah, the super jumps are fairly trivial to execute. Some of the spots you have to stand in, since it's specific to where you have to stand, since you need a slope of a specific angle. Some of the spots you have to stand are pretty small, so you have to know where they are. But once you know where they are, and if you're standing in the right spot, it's literally just cast the spell, wait a moment, and then jump, and you go to space. That's it. As far as executing it, once you know what you need to do, it's trivial.
Yeah, so the weapon does matter, and it's not a guaranteed thing. There's actually some weird math in it where you can't get one weapon if you have another one at all. There was some strange stuff like that I was reading about. And
yeah,
you need.
I think we did figure out exactly what the math is on what weapon drops look like. It's really nice that this category isn't using the sword anymore, since it seemed like, I don't know if it was just sampling bias or what, but it seemed like the sword dropped less frequently, but the hammer doesn't seem to be as big of a problem. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that did seem to be the case, is that the sword was harder to come by.
If it weren't so hard to switch armor, this would be one stage where you would pick green, I think.
Probably. There's not a lot of options for doing the space jump, and you could use the grappling claw quite a few times to help.
That's such a powerful leap there. So to get armor in this game, like legit, to actually switch armor, you have to find an orb and charge up and pick it. And you can choose your armor, but it only happens at like set intervals. And if you get hit too many times, you won't be able to do anything. You're gonna have to get set back to 0. There's this boss. This boss has been a nuisance for people, so I understand. What's going on here? I don't recognize this strat.
I think going back to the space jump location and making use of it, if I had to guess. I'm not actually certain about this one. I guess this is basically jumping straight to the boss.
Is this the best location for this?
It's gotta be better than moving forward and snaking through all those platforms.
Glumbaron's saying you cannot go back to do this jump, which hurts. On the Switch.
Gotcha. An interesting thing about the wizard boss that teleports, which is that he doesn't teleport if you have sword, Which would be useful because that boss ruins runs if there was a way to get hammer back. Yeah, if you could guarantee changing weapons correctly, that would be very good.
We just skipped the rest of the final stage is done. It just got...
That stage is a huge mess too, so going back just a little bit is totally worth it.
And baby saved. Nice. Here's your...
I love that ending though. Imagine not having that ending in the Switch version. I would feel so cheated.
Have you seen the real good ending? Have you sat down and watched that
No.
one? I think you'll enjoy it. Maybe you should try and learn it yourself. It's really good. It's like 30 seconds long, first of all, and it's got that animation quality also. I love it. The good ending is incredible.
There's I might have to earn it myself then.
The final fight is also interesting if you haven't seen that either. There's like if you have the black armor and you get to the final boss there, you warp to this like colossus and you're flying around. It turns into like a shmup. Wow. It's just a completely different ending. Well, that's our current stance. We have 2 weeks left on this still. We're doing a race next week if anyone wants to get in on that. Any skill levels, welcome. And then
we're gonna definitely have people who are coming in blind, coming in somewhat cold, so don't feel afraid to participate.
Show it. I'm not gonna spoil it. I do have it on footage from my own run, but I'm laughing over it because I had such a good time watching it. I wasn't ready for it, honestly. I wasn't prepared for... I'd already seen whatever the normal run ending is, and then I beat it on expert or whatever, gamer expert or whatever the top thing is. I don't think that changes the game too much, so if you're speedrunning it, you sure won't have trouble winning. It's definitely the kind of game you will inevitably complete if you try. Well, thanks for joining me at the booth. That's all we got today. It's so short.
Short one.
I'm gonna...
Take care.
I'm gonna go ahead and be doing a bounty, so stick around, folks. And thanks for joining me at the booth.
Take care.